the taper is going pretty well. I've had some issues in the past with tapering. I think just through inexperience and impatience, it's not always gone very well. But I also haven't done a ton of longer races. So this time around, the main lesson I learned was just to keep it simple, just take out the things that weren't really needed anymore and keep in all the things that were. So I've literally just been reducing the mileage, making sure I'm sleeping well, eating well, and I've kept my upper body training basically the same, just maintaining at the minute, and just kind of phase the lower body stuff out so that I'm not putting undue load on my legs through the taper. So I think that's the main lesson that's been learned really in the kind of couple of years, 3 years that I've been trying to be a bit more serious about running. Is just to keep it simple. Like, I'm not an elite athlete. I'm not even a sub-elite athlete, so there's not really a lot of point in doing all the 1% stuff at the minute. Obviously, like, if I've got space in my schedule to do certain things, like just making sure I'm doing regular mobility work, and nice hot baths to keep the blood flow through the muscles, those kind of things, like, it doesn't hurt to do those at all. But certainly there are a lot of other bits and pieces that I was stressing about too much in the previous couple of years compared to now. And I'd be like over worrying about not being fit enough, which it had to learn the hard way really. It's really better to turn up to the start line slightly undertrained than it is overtrained. So that's kind of what I've gone for this time. I just made sure I felt good during my peak. I didn't try to overcook it or push myself that much, because I don't need to at the minute. I don't need to worry about pushing myself like really close to the line. So I just did what I could to make sure I'm turning up to the start line a bit undertrained, really, because it's better to do it that way. One of the other key developments this time round has definitely been just worrying less about things when they haven't gone exactly according to plan, because you just can't guarantee that everything's going to work out perfectly, that all your runs are going to go really, really smoothly. So my last big long run before I started tapering didn't go according to plan, didn't work out. And I think because I've managed to kind of, from the start of the block, start to sort of build in this idea that I can do 16 weeks of training and race day might be total shit. And there's not really a lot I can do about that necessarily, because some things that go wrong are just totally out of your control. So if I get to race day and the weather is just completely minging, or something happens to my shoes, which has happened to me before mid-race, like those sorts of things, you can't predict everything at all. And that goes for the training block as well. Embracing the uncertainty, I think, has been a key factor in this block feeling better than previous training blocks that I've done. Even though certain things didn't go according to plan, like my last long run not really working out how I wanted it to, everything else really has been there. Like, I've got the mileage done, that worked out fine. I've eaten well, I've slept well, I've tried to stay on top of my recovery as much as possible, and And that has showed. On Saturday, I decided I was going to put my road racing shoes on for parkrun and just go a little bit faster, because I haven't done any fast stuff this block really, and I thought that would be nice. It'd probably feel good to run a bit quicker, and I knew I could, even if I ran quite quickly, I could probably still recover from it fine. So so I went down to parkrun in my road racing shoes, and my local parkrun is not good for going after PRs or anything. There's too much elevation change, and the GPS always measures the course slightly short, but I was just like, right, we'll just go, we'll have a bit of a leg spin. And then I accidentally ran my fastest 5k since 2019, which I wasn't anticipating at all. It's very close. It was only like 2 seconds off my Strava PB, but it's still like 20 seconds off my actual PB. But still, like, wasn't anticipating that at all, and I felt fine. Like, in the past, I've really hated racing 5k because it always felt horrible. So to be running like pretty close to when I was running my fastest, and still feel fine, like not feel like I want to throw up, I feel like that means the training block has gone pretty well, that I can bust out that kind of effort without meaning to, and then recover fine a couple of days later. Like, my legs are a bit sore for a couple of days, but they're fine now, so that feels good. It feels like the fitness is really there, and that I've laid a good foundation block to build from. And really all I've done this block is just up my mileage. I've not really been doing any intensity. I've done a little bit of hill rep work, but the volume on that has been very low compared to my overall volume. So I've just been running more. And I've kept it simple. And I wish I'd understood that 2 years ago, that all I needed to do was just steadily increase my volume and worry about the bits and pieces later, worry about bringing in intensity later. I was trying to rush, and it didn't really serve me that well. I just wish I'd understood that earlier. And I feel like this taper has really just cemented that keeping it simple is all most of us need to do. Like, it's fun to try and emulate what the elite runners do sometimes, and do some of the kind of like, or versions of the workouts they do and whatever. But for general training, most of us just need the straightforward stuff. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling now. There will be a video prior to the Haworth Hobble, just going over the final preparations, how I'm feeling, and my plan for race day, which will depend a bit on what the weather forecast is telling me. So that will be up, next week before the race. But we're getting close now, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.